It's always hard to start off the first video, so let's just get to it. We're reviewing Batman vs. Superman. I got HG Jake here. Say hi, Jake.
Hey, Dad. How are you?
So Batman vs. Superman. Never thought I would see this one, but my sister took me last minute. So, when did you see it, Jake?
I saw it the first day it came out. Or was it? Did it come out on Thursday or Friday? I know I saw it on Friday. And
It came out on Friday.
Yeah. I had quite the adventure. I thought we were seeing it in 3D, so I paid for a 3D ticket, and I sat there looking like a dumbass as I tried to refund my ticket when I realized we aren't seeing it in 3D. And but they were fine with it though.
I can already imagine that going down. Let's see. I saw it 2 days ago. The theater wasn't even half packed, so probably not the same viewing experience you got, but it was still pretty nice viewing experience.
When I was there, everybody was there. It was ridiculous. Like, for the 3D line, the line was like outside the building. It was bad. There was a lot of people.
Wow.
Which surprised me.
So I guess we're gonna get down. We're just gonna get down straight to it. All right. So, what did you think of the movie?
I liked it. I thought it was a good movie, and I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, it was a good movie that I think a lot of people talk trash about it, but I think if you just watch it as in it being a fun superhero movie, it's a good movie. But I don't think it's Zack Snyder's best work, because if you look at his movies in the past, he's made Man of Steel, Watchmen. Like, Watchmen was a fantastic movie. 300, Sucker Punch wasn't really that good. But he knows how to make good movies. But I think his problem is that he can't tell good stories. Like, he can tell stories that are good if he has something to work off of. Like, Man of Steel, like, you kind of know the story of Superman with Zod coming down and everything like that. That's just Superman 1 and 2 mixed into the same thing. Those old, what was it, Christopher Reeve Superman movies or whatever. Watchmen is based off the comic book. 300's based off the comic book. Dawn of the Dead he did was already a film. So it's like, he knows how to make films if he has the source material to work with, but I think if he's going off his own original idea, he struggles with that.
Wow, you took the words right out of my ass with that one. All right. Ben Affleck in an interview said, "This movie is for movie watchers, not for critics." And I'm like, yeah, that summed it up. I mean, dude, yeah. It's about a man from outer space who can fly, a man with daddy issues who dresses as a bat and beats up bad guys. What are you expecting from this? Good Lord. I mean, as you said, Zack Snyder is great at making a good movie, but yeah, he does need help when it comes to storytelling. I mean, the movie looked great. This movie had great cinematography. Like, the opening was amazing.
Here's why. When they made Man of Steel, there's actually a video about this. It's like Man of Steel, but in color. I think it's what it's called. But if you watch Man of Steel, it's a beautiful film. Like, it's shot fantastic, but it has really low saturation because they're going with that Dark Knight kind of darker look. But for Superman, that doesn't really work, right? Like, if you watch all the Superman movies, it's always bright and colorful for the suit. The suit is being bright blue, bright red, just being this iconic suit. But when you watch Man of Steel, it's not saturated good, and it kind of just looks like eerie in a way. So for this film, they saturated it perfect, and they just made the scenes with Superman light, the scenes with Batman dark, and they just combined it all together. And I think they did a really good job. The film looks great.
It really does. Like, the opening sequence, like... Oh yeah, this is a spoiler review, by the way. I probably should say that. Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, probably should have mentioned that.
I should have pressed the button. It was like, "Hello, guys. Just want to let you know, Superman dies!" And
Superman dies at the end of the movie.
Superman dies. Wonder Woman's tits are fake. Ben
the tits are all over the screen.
So, like, the beginning, where it shows Batman, like, because they have to. Everybody knows the story of Batman. Like, if you haven't seen Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, like, go see that. That's great. I mean, it doesn't tie into this in any way whatsoever.
They're just fantastic.
They're just fantastic movies. But Man of Steel, that ties into this. Like, this will show, like, flashbacks to Man of Steel, like, from other characters' perspectives. You'll have, like, General Zod. He made an appearance in this. And I love General Zod. He was, like...
Yeah, because everything has to tie into each other. Like, if you watch Man of Steel, the ending of Man of Steel is where Batman versus Superman kind of leaves off at. So, like, at the end of Man of Steel, when Metropolis is just being destroyed by Superman fighting Zod, and everything's just going crazy, and just all hell is wreaking loose, Batman vs. Superman leaves off and picks up at that moment. So it takes place like 18 months, almost like 2 years after the fact, but it goes back to that reference point to explain the story, and because it all has to sync up in some way.
Yeah, I loved how they set this up. I'm watching the trailers and like, what motivation would Batman need to, like, okay, we have to go stop this guy, we have to kill this man, we have to do this. I'm like, what could he do? I watched the beginning. He's in Metropolis, dead center, basically the 9/11 of their world.
Yeah,
his building gets brought down. His workers die. He saves a little girl from dying. Her parents die, and then you just see it all in his face. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'd be pissed too. I'd want to kill this man
see,
too.
and here's the thing, right? Because this is where they mention like picking a side, and in the end, really no one wins. But I think when you pick a side with a superhero movie fighting other people, and you can see this in the new Captain America movie that comes out in May, where you're like, are you Team Iron Man? Are you Team Captain America? What team are you on? You can't really be on Superman's team in a way, because you have to remember when he's sitting there and after all this violence happens, he's like talking to Lois Lane and like he's like giving her like a bubble bath or whatever. He's like, it's really not my fault, I don't know why they're overreacting. She's like, don't worry, Clark, it's not your fault. You just blew up the whole city. You killed half of the population in Metropolis. You just killed thousands of people. Like, you created like 9/11 2.0. Like, you messed up. That's not one of those like, oh, I accidentally dropped my keys, gotta pick them up, do. It was kind of like, I just killed off all your friends, all your family, everyone you know, your children's children. I killed them all, and I don't even care. They had it coming.
It's like, hey, I killed basically almost all your coworkers and almost you even. Snuggle time.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
I'm still pretty super, right?
It was Obama's fault.
I'm still super.
I'm still... Oh, yeah, Wait, no, I'll get to this later, but, Oh, yeah, we were talking about the plot, like, see, after, it shows the whole 9/11 of it... I saw this 2 days ago. I'm trying to get the plot. I might have to pull it up on Wikipedia just real... I don't know why I didn't do this.
So after that happens, and it cuts to Clark, and he's talking to Lois, and he's like, guys, it's not my fault. It cuts to Gotham, and it shows how Batman has been he's been preparing for this fight that he plans on having with Superman. Just going balls deep in the whole... I want to get payback. I want to get revenge, and he shows that and it kind of turns into a horror movie in a way, which I really like. That I want to see an R-rated Batman movie, even though it probably won't happen.
Actually.
But I want to see that happen. I want to see it super dark, like Frank Miller's stories of Batman. I want to see the super dark, and it cuts to this scene that I think is beautiful. I think it's brilliant, and it's where there's like crime going on or whatever, and it cuts to one of the criminals, and he's chained down, and he has this branding on his like he has no shirt on, and he's like bleeding, and he's like, there's the devil, there's the bat, and he has like this branding on him, and he had been stamped with the Batman logo, and it looks so cool, and it's bleeding.
I know, that was awesome, and
then the cop's there, and he has the light, and it's like shot very dark, and it's shaky cam, and it's really nice looking.
And then they say that oh, this branding is basically suicide for if you're prison. I'm like, oh shit, so Batman's technically, the blood's not technically on his hands with this.
Yeah, see, so because if you really think about it, it's like gang affiliation in a way. It's kind of like, dude, you were taken down by the Bat, which means you did something wrong in prison. Like you did something wrong to get to prison, which everybody in that prison is gonna just kill you. Like let's say like pedophiles when they go to prison, that's a suicide death sentence right there. And the cops don't really care when that happens. Like, if like somebody like rapes a woman and then they get sent to prison for it, and especially like child molesters and stuff, when they get sent to prison, the guards don't even care. Like they just let them get raped and beat up and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, now let's try talking about the movie. Like, I mean, we're talking about the movie, but, you know, we're going on, like, you know, Batman brands people. Did you know that child molesters don't give a shit?
Did you know that child molesters drive vans? And it's really weird.
I mean, let's, all right, I pulled up the Wikipedia. Okay, so basically after the 9/11 of Metropolis, so it cuts, you know, over in the Indian Ocean where the world, what was it called? The World Changer or something for Man of Steel?
What?
Remember?
The World Changer? What is that?
Remember from Man of Steel the thing that...
the
world...
The giant laser thing?
Yeah, the world... It was called the world...
God, what's it called?
I think I can pull it up.
Yeah, I totally forget what it is.
The World Engine.
Yeah.
The World Engine where it crashed in the Indian Ocean and they found the kryptonite, and then Lex Luthor, we're gonna get into him later, okay? We can't bitch about it just yet, but you know, Lex Luthor, he gets a hold of this stuff, but you know, Batman on the other hand is trying to take it from him, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, so what happens is that they find the kryptonite in the Indian Ocean, and these people find it, and this is where you start to learn about Aquaman, but he doesn't come till later, and it's where they find this underground, like it's like underwater. It's this giant contraption, and they take it out and they bust it open, and there's all this kryptonite in it, and it's like this giant rock. And then Lex Luthor gets his hands on this, and he's like, this is what, like, he does like experiments and stuff, and he finds out that the cells, when he puts the kryptonite up to Zod, that the cells like retract and it damages the skin or whatever, and he realizes that this is what you have to use to kill Superman.
You know, I can't remember. It's been 2 days. I've only seen the movie once. How the hell did he get, like, what did he do to get access to General Zod's body and the crash site of Zod's ship in the middle of Metropolis? What did he do again? I forgot.
He is, Lex Corp is this company that funds science and whatnot. So he has like all the innards of like all the scientific stuff that happens because he's like funding most of it. So he can just like press the button and be like, yo, I'm a billionaire, let me see it.
Okay, I know we were gonna bitch about Lex Luthor earlier, but there's just this one scene where, you know, he's talking about what he wants. He's like, yeah, I want access to the Kryptonian, I want to see the ship, and he's got this freaking Jolly Rancher, and then he's just unwrapping it, and this dude's trying to explain some serious stuff to him, and he literally just pops it in his mouth. I'm like,
I like that.
I'm like, what the
I
hell
like
is
that.
with this?
I thought that is so funny. We'll get to that later when we talk about Jesse Eisenberg's,
you know what?
Lex Luthor.
Let's stop talking about the plot. We gotta talk about the characters, okay? Because if we just get the characters out of the way, then we can talk about the plot. Okay, well, let's talk about, you know, recurring characters. Henry Cavill was great as Superman. Henry Cavill was great as Superman.
He does a fantastic performance when he acts.
I mean, because I have never seen any of the original Christopher Reeve Superman, so this was like, when I saw Man of Steel back in 2013, you know, back when Superman came out in the 1980s, be like, wow, I believe a man can fly. And I saw Henry Cavill, I'm like, wow, this is Superman.
Yeah. Henry Cavill was also in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. recently, and he did a fantastic job in that.
Yeah, I came out around the same time as Mission Impossible 5, but I saw that instead. So Henry Cavill, he does great as Superman. I can't see any other actor playing as him. What's-her-face returns as Amy
Adams.
Amy Adams, you know, she's okay as Lois Lane. She's okay. I mean, She's Lois Lane, okay? I mean,
Yeah, I think she does an alright job. I like how it strays away from her being the damsel in distress. Because if you watch all the other prior Superman movies to this, and in the animated series of Superman, Lois is kind of always needing Superman's help, which she does a lot in even the Zack Snyder films. But she's more independent. Like if you watch Christopher Reeve's Superman, there's always Lois always needs Superman's help. Like there's a part where like he has to fly around the Earth backwards,
Yeah.
and it reverses time to save her and everything, and it's just super campy and stuff. But here she stands up on her own feet, and she's like reporting out in like a foreign country, and eventually, yeah, she does need Superman's help. But I think overall she's a good Lois Lane.
I mean, you know, if I knew Superman was just around at my disposal, I would go into terrorist operators like,
Oh yeah.
hey,
Anybody.
Jihad, is sucking my dick. Okay. My name is Lois Lane. If I had a penis, this is where you'd suck it. Anyways, so Amy Adams, she's great as Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is what I've been wanting to talk about. Ben Affleck as Batman. Jake, what did you think of Ben Affleck as Batman?
I think he did a great job. See, here's the thing with Affleck. He's a super Batman fan. He's been trying to play Batman all okay. You know how God, who plays Deadpool?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is a super Deadpool fan. Ben Affleck is the equivalent to that. Ben Affleck, like when he played Daredevil, he did that because Daredevil is essentially
The Batman of
Marvel's
Marvel.
Batman. Yeah. He did that in hopes of getting closer to playing Batman, which was not true at all. In fact, Ben Affleck has a Batcave in his house. Kevin Smith is telling a story, and he's like, yo, I go over to this man's house. He has this bookshelf full of books, and he's like, hey, you see that statue right there? Why don't you tilt its head over? Clicks the button, the panels on the bookshelves turn, and there's stairs, and it's a bat cave, and he has like a suit and everything. And I think if anybody's qualified to play older Bruce Wayne, it's Ben Affleck. I think he did a great job. He has a strong accent, but I think he worked around that, and he did a good job, I think.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think Ben Affleck surpassed Christian Bale as Batman because this is not the Nolan universe Batman. This isn't I went up in the mountains and trained with no, this is comic book. This is almost like Frank Miller's Bruce Wayne Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. Lift up the comic pages, and you've got Ben Affleck as Batman. He did a great job. He pulled it off well.
Yeah.
The suit was, I think, it's one of the best looking Batman
I
outfits
think
we've got.
I think it was a great suit.
And
because it looks like he made it on the side, and that it wasn't this militarized. Like it looks like he used the black market and all that shady stuff that he does in the movie to actually get the suit. It doesn't look like he has like a military guy on handout to be like, yo man, make me a suit. I think it looks nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, people. I remember my sister. She after the movie, she was whining to me about this. She's like, Batman killed people. I'm like, but you gotta remember, this is a Batman, like 20 years, you know, Robin's dead, he's seen all of it, there's a freaking god he's about to go up against a god. I'm pretty sure, you know, after all of this, you know, witnessing all the things he's done over these years, you know, his morals would kind of be a little bit down there.
Yeah.
This is a way to look at it. Don't think of him as a vigilante. Think of him as an anti-hero, and then you'd be able to like, oh yeah, this makes sense. I mean, he wasn't like Deadpool killing people left and right. No, he killed like maybe 3 or 4 guys, and I mean, yeah, they're opening machine gun fire on him.
If you look at if you really look at it, I hate when people say Batman doesn't kill people, and this was actually what I had happen in the theaters. When you see Batman and he grabs that gun when he's fighting in Africa or whatever they're fighting, and he shoots that guy and the guy clearly dies. Somebody was like, but Batman doesn't kill. Batman kills. All
yeah,
right?
watch the original 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton in it.
Yeah, they dumbed him down a lot for the comics, but mainly because of the reason of they wanted to keep it child friendly. But if you watch, if you look at the original comics, he has a gun with him. He shoots people. In fact, there's one issue where he's trying to get this guy. I don't know what the scenario is, but this guy, he keeps escaping and whatnot, and he's just too fast for Batman to catch. So Batman just takes out his pistol and just shoots him and just kills him, and then that's the.
I got one that tops that, Jake.
Hmm.
He let a group of criminals burn to death while he went up on a rooftop and had sex with Catwoman.
Yeah, if you watch the Michael Keaton Batman movies,
he throws a guy down a church.
Yeah, he throws him down a clock tower. At one point, he puts this bomb onto this guy's like genitals or whatever, and it's meant to be a joke. And then he just walks away as this guy explodes. Clearly, he's killed people before.
Didn't he kill the Joker?
In what? In
Michael Keaton Batman. Did he? It's been a while since I've seen it.
What
I've got it
happens
queued on my
in
Netflix.
what happens in the Michael Keaton Batman is they're fighting and he goes to get away on God, what happens? He goes to get away on the helicopter and then he loses his grip and falls to his death. But I think it's because Batman attaches his bat rope to the Joker's leg, and then he falls and dies or something like that. Something similar to that.
That was acceptable. I mean, he killed his fucking parents. But let's get back to Ben Affleck. I don't know why they call him Bad Affleck. I mean, I don't get it. Is it just Ben and Bad or 3 letters? I don't get it.
No, I think it's they call him Batfleck is what it is.
Well, let's get back to Batfleck. Now the way they brought him out, like the tension was so high in the room. Like the cop, he's got a shotgun, he's going slowly around.
Yeah.
And then the camera pans to the left, and Batman's fading in the background. I literally said out loud, "Oh shit."
It's wicked.
Yeah, and then Batman stole the show.
Yeah, it's just like Frank Miller's Batman comics, and I think that's why people like superhero movies so much, because they embody this thing that everybody grew up on. Like I remember when I first read The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, I was completely blown away on how dark this was, and then seeing this movie come out, and seeing that the scenes look just alike. When he's in the suit, and he looks at him, and he goes, "I have a question. Do you bleed?" And it just, it's so cool. And then when Superman starts flying away, he goes, "You will." And it's so cool.
I wish he would have done the monologue to where he says, "In all your most private moments to come, I want you to remember the one
man who beat you."
I actually watched part 2 of the animated. You know how they made an animated movie?
Yeah.
I watched that last night and I was like, "Ooh, I love this shit." But Ben Affleck, he's basically Frank Miller's Batman in the movie. Like, they did him well. He was probably the best casting ever. It almost makes up for the shitty casting as Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Let's talk about that. What did you think of Jesse Eisenberg playing Jesse Eisenberg, calling himself Lex Luthor in this movie?
Evan. I liked it.
You liked it? You liked it? Okay, tell me why you liked it. Okay, I'm open to your opinion. Why did you like him?
Okay, you have to go into this looking at, this is modern day time, right? When you look at Lex Luthor is this cocky businessman. Like when you had Kevin Spacey play Lex Luthor, he did a great job for that rendition, even though that was a shit tier movie. Yeah, awful movie.
So bad.
God, who played Superman in that?
No, Brandon Ruth.
Yeah, or whatever his name is. He never acted anything ever again, except for, well, he did but it was like shitty Hallmark movies. Yeah. And nobody took him serious after that. What an awful rendition. But if you look at that Lex Luthor, it's a great Lex Luthor for that movie. But you have to remember, this is a modern time Superman rendition. This isn't this 1980s Superman. This isn't the 1970s Superman. This is modern day indie mogul sort of technology genius person. And like if you look at like the person who owns Tesla or whatever, this is a nerdy type of guy. You know, he's a skinny, nerdy type of guy. You're not gonna get this 6 foot tall, muscular, bald-headed guy who owns all this science stuff without somebody helping him out. This Lex Luthor is a smart Lex Luthor, but personally, I think Jesse Eisenberg, seeing his performance in this, seeing how crazy he is with like the job, like the Jolly Ranchers, and like he's laughing at the end, and when he gets stamped in the head by Batman, I think he should have been casted to play the Joker. I think he would have done a fantastic job as the Joker, but I think him as Lex Luthor, I think he did a good job.
That was my problem with him entirely. I'm like, because I have Lex Luthor's pulled up right now. All right. It says he is portrayed as a charismatic business magnate. I don't know, but you know, I don't mind that they cast Jesse Eisenberg to play Lex Luthor, but don't. I didn't see him playing as Lex Luthor. I just saw. I'm like, oh, there's Jesse Eisenberg. What's he doing here? He's not even trying to. He's playing every freaking character he ever does. He's just playing himself.
Yeah. If you look at Batman v Superman Lex Luthor and you compare that to the Social Network Mark Zuckerberg, they're very, very similar in that kind of awkward craziness, smart guy who is awkward in situations. It's the same person, really.
Yeah, but can you at least admit this? They did it too much. I'm like, literally, there's like, remember when he's like speaking to these people and he's like, well, speaking into the people, a man once said this. I'm like, good fucking God, how could this guy be a leader of any company ever, for fuck's sakes?
Well, because it's not really his company, though. Like, if you look at Lex Luthor in the comic books and in the past movies, he has people running the company for him. He is like the Donald Trump, and everybody else is kind of the people who take out his trash and do his garden and pretty much run everything that he does. And like, because this is his father's company in the movie, and he is, since his father just died recently, he is now into this position of, shit, I have to take over this company from my father, and he's not good at running the company, and I think he knows that, but he's this awkward kid who has to cope with having tons of money and having tons of power and not knowing how to use that power. And I think that if you go into it looking at this is a new Lex Luthor, this isn't the past bald head Kevin Spacey Lex Luthor. This is the new Lex Luthor. I think if you go into it looking like that, you can get past the flaws and all that.
You want to know who I kind of would have liked it to be cast as Lex Luthor? Just imagine this actor kind of doing, imagine him saying the day versus night, you know that dialogue?
Yeah.
Imagine Bryan Cranston saying that. Just imagine.
Oh my god, now Jesse Eisenberg is crap as Lex Luthor. Oh my god. Oh, I want Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor now. I want to remake that with Bryan Cranston.
Because
Jesus. Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Now this movie is shit. I want Bryan Cranston.
The reason I didn't like Jesse Eisenberg, because you got Ben Affleck doing the most badass Batman we've got on screen. You've got Henry Cavill doing an amazing Superman, and then you've got Jesse Eisenberg over here in a wig going batshit insane.
Imagine like, everybody's there, they're like fighting and stuff, and he's just like the child of like a dysfunctional, about to divorce family of Batman and Superman. And he's like, so, you guys gonna take me to the zoo?
Yeah.
You guys gotta take me to the zoo, guys? And Bryan Cranston, oh my god, no, you shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, but I will admit,
experience.
This is my opinion of him as a villain changed within 2 seconds. I'm like, there's no way this stupid shit ass kid could be a villain. Fucking building blows up. Oh. Shit.
Yeah, well, that's what I like about it, is that it comes out of left field. Like, it's like you don't even expect him to.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Like, I was like legitimately. So basically, Superman, they want him to answer for destroying Metropolis, and he shows up, but Lex Luthor's there. But what the thing is, when, the 9/11 Metropolis happened, one of Bruce Wayne's employees, a steel beam fell down and he crushed his legs, and he had to lose his legs. So basically, he just hates Superman, and he wants Superman to answer for what he did to him. So Lex is like, hey, I can help you, and he gives him this wheelchair. But what we didn't know is that he rigged it with an explosive.
See, isn't that fantastic?
Yeah.
Like, I think when you see a performance like this, and you see this version of Lex Luthor, I don't think you can say
No.
it was a bad Lex Luthor.
But
I think this is the crazy mad scientist vigilante of Lex Luthor. I think that's why I think he did a good job.
But
Because
Jake,
it comes out of left field.
But Jake, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston would have been good, but I mean, you see how he did in Godzilla. He did a fantastic job in Godzilla.
Yeah.
In fact, he's the only reason to see Godzilla, even though that is a good movie. But let's be honest here. But Jesse Eisenberg, I think he did a good job. I think he's a good actor.
All right, that's enough of Jesse Eisenberg. Okay, let's talk about Gail Gadot as Wonder Woman. I think she did good. Like, you know, you look at her like,
Yeah.
she looks like she weighs about 90 pounds, and then she shows up. I'm like, yep, there's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, cause she's like she's known for doing a lot of stunts. She's in the Fast and Furious movies. She's good at that, and I think she did a good job. Personally, I think seeing her, because if you look at Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman is meant to not be so used to normal life. Like, I think that's what makes Wonder Woman so interesting, is that she's a god, you know, she's a demigod. She's not meant to this whole metropolis city aspect, and I think they should have done, I don't think they should have necessarily made her blend in so well.
I don't know about the history of Wonder Woman that much, but like in the movie, it's like, wait, she's around 1918. Yeah, she probably knows more than Batman and Superman do about it, a lot of stuff. But I will say, Hans Zimmer nailed it with her theme. You know what I'm talking about? Like when she shows up, you know, and that awesome music starts playing.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, hey, that is
that's
badass.
Wonder Woman. Yeah. It's like I think she's good as Wonder Woman. I think she did a really good job. I think when you see like her doing like the action, she has the shield up and stuff, and you see like her hair blow back, and you see her as like this very strong force that, if you really look at it, she could kick Batman and Superman's ass all at the same time. That's all. That's
not Superman. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like she is able. If you look at the fight between Doomsday and Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman does a lot of the work. Wonder Woman is able to pretty much single-handedly fight Doomsday without being so far as knocked down, while Superman is, you see him several moments where he's near death, hurt at the end.
Yeah.
So I think Wonder Woman, if you really think about that, she is a great hero, and I think Gail Gadot did a good job as her.
You know, most of my favorite YouTube channels reviewers, like, people think that, you know, hey, yeah, when you play video games, you're probably subscribed to 20 gaming channels. No, the only gaming shit I watch is probably like the 7 people I play with. I am subscribed to YouTube reviewers. Those guys are awesome.
See, I am too. I don't really watch gaming videos.
Yeah.
I like
it's all the same shit. It's just some guy talking over a fucking video game. But as I was saying, all the reviewers are like, oh my god, Jeremy Irons nailed it as Alfred. I'm like, yeah, he was okay. He wasn't bad. I'm like,
I think he was good.
He didn't do much to stand out saying, oh my god, that is Alfred right there. I'm like, I mean, Michael Caine was great. Jeremy Irons was okay. He's not the best Alfred we've had.
I thought he was a good Alfred because he added to like kind of the spite of Batman. Like, he wasn't all for Batman going out and threatening his life. He was kind of like, hey, I don't think you should be doing this, but I'm gonna support you anyway. I think he was a good Alfred. Like, I don't think he was like a good role. Like what I'm trying to get at here is, I don't think he was powerful in the acting, but I think if you look at him as Alfred, he was a good Alfred.
Yeah. Now,
like, he's not like an action star anymore, or I don't know if he was before.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I think he did a good job.
Now, technically, I can't say he's in this movie, but okay, he is in the movie, but I can't technically say, you know, he's a character in this movie, but Michael Shannon as General Zod was probably one of the best villain casts ever. Like, I mean, like, when they probably were talking about, hey, Shannon, you want to come back to Batman versus Superman? Like, sure, what's gonna happen? Oh, we're gonna have you naked, floating around in water. Like,
I think he was a great person to play Doomsday. I think he does the whole look.
You mean
good.
Zod?
Well, Zod and Doomsday. It's the same person.
Oh.
I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
It's a strong performance. I think he did a good job in Man of Steel as well, even though he didn't say the famous line of "kneel before Zod," which I wish he would have, but it would have been super campy, but only a couple of people would have gotten it, and when they do, they're like, "Oh my god." What do you think of the cameos between Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash?
I was waiting for you to ask me about that. I'm like, the way that, you know, Wonder Woman's reading this email, she's like scrolling like line for line.
That was.
I'm like, come on, have you not ever heard of you pull it up and the entire monitor displays it? Because, you know, not.
Yeah, what are you zoomed in at? Like
really, oh my god, words. But this is what I thought about it. I thought it was great that, you know, LexCorp had all these files on all the people, but I'm like, did you really have to go and make logos like, hey, this guy?
What I was thinking. I was like, really, motherfucker? You made logos? This is totally for the people who are like, oh my god, isn't that Aquaman's logo? Isn't that the Flash's logo? Isn't that Cyborg's logo?
To be honest,
I think that was what it was meant for.
To be honest, I had to have my sister say, like, I'm like, who was that at the end with Hugo Strange? That was Cyborg. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. I thought that the cameos, I thought they were good for the most part because they were short and they were brief, and that's what they're meant for. But I hated the Aquaman camo. I thought that was so campy when it's that found footage, kind of like this is a diving exploration footage. Like they go underwater and they're in like this like.
Actually, I think that was more of a. I don't know the company that does this. They're like the NASA, but for the ocean. I have no idea what it's called.
Yeah, but it's like...
these were submarines, you know, this wasn't some diver, you know, these were submarines sent down there. And it looked like they were exploring wreckage of some sort, or maybe that could have been Atlantis.
Yeah, they were exploring wreckage, but the thing is that instead of being like, oh my god, guys, I think we found something, it was like, you see Aquaman there. You see him for a good solid 30 seconds. He shows, like, you only see his eyes at first, which I thought would have been really cool, and then at the end you see like his like fins and stuff and everything like that. I thought that would have been cool, but then you see his face and his body, and you see his beard and stuff, and he's like yelling underwater, and he pulls out the spear and he stabs into the camera, and that's it.
It would have been smart if he called in, like, you know, some sharks or something to deal with it.
That's what I was looking for. I was looking for you only see so much of him, like you only see like maybe like his face for a little bit, and then you're greeted with him screaming out in like this like foreign like water earth like shark language or whatever, and then all you see is like great whites come, and then you just attack the camera, and it, you know, just something like weird or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought that would have been cooler. Right. For Cyborg, I thought that was a really, really cool cameo, because he like clicks on it and he sees it and he's like, Jesus, man, that's kind of fucked up, and then that's it, and because it looks really cool, like his body and his limbs and stuff, and you see it rebuild. The Flash just comes out of nowhere. That's when I was lost in the movie. I was like, I was like, I didn't even know it was him at first because of his outfit, but that's just an alternate costume. Like he has like armor on, and then his outfit is on under that. But it caught me off at left field. I was like, what is going on right now? Like, you see him sitting there, and he's like, what is Batman doing at the time? He's like depressed or something, you know, being Batman or whatever. His parents are dead, and then out of nowhere, you just see this spark of like lights and stuff, and then he comes out and he's like, dude, man, you gotta go, man, we're gonna die. And then he like mumbles some stuff or whatever. I don't know what he says, and then he just goes away, and you only see this for what, maybe like a minute, and then that's it.
Yeah.
But I liked it though.
Yeah, I think that does it for the characters' parts. I think you can get back to the plot. You know, we got the 9/11 of Metropolis. You know, they found kryptonite in the Indian Ocean. So Batman, he wants to steal it from LexCorp. So he gets invited to this party. You know. Yeah. And I guess he has this data drive, and he steals all this intel.
He can rig it and see where all the stuff is being held and gain knowledge from them. But Henry Cavill, Clark Kent, he's also at this party. Lex invited both of them, and this is at this moment where Clark kind of knows he's Batman
he can,
in
like,
a way.
hear it on his radio, and
Yeah,
he's like,
and
what the hell is
because
this?
Alfred is talking through like this earpiece to Bruce, and Clark can hear all of this stuff. So he's like, "Yeah, you have to go rig the data, sir," and he's like all this stuff, and he can hear this while this is happening, and then they confront each other, and they have this like kind of weird monologue where they explain to each other like, yeah, well, there's freaks in Gotham, but there's also freaks in Metropolis, bitch. So you better back the fuck up. and they throw down some words, and then
Tension's being built up, and they don't even know who the other guy is.
And then Bruce runs into this woman, and this woman catches him stealing data, and Bruce is like, "Oh, dude, I gotta like,
I'm wasted, man."
Yeah, I gotta go tell her, like, "Hey,
gotta
man, you didn't see nothing." So he chases her down, and he can't catch her and stuff, and he looks outside, and I think she's stealing his car. I think she steals his car.
I thought you were talking about the Asian that catches him, you know, because Wonder Woman takes it when he comes back after he's done talking. Remember?
Who is the, is it Wonder Woman, the person who catches him stealing the data, and then,
I remember her name. The woman that
Was that
helped
Wonder
out,
Woman?
the woman that, remember that Asian that, followed him around? The Asian lady that followed Lex Luthor around, her name is Mercy Graves.
Okay, yeah. Is that her? I thought that was Wonder Woman.
No, because remember, Mercy Graves...
Okay.
Let's just call her Asian woman. So Asian woman catches him, and he pulls the whole, "I'm strong, I'm living the best." He pulls that routine. And then, so after that, he goes back upstairs, they talk and stuff, and when he comes back down, he's like, "Where is my thing at?" And he looks over, Wonder Woman's got it, and then she leaves.
Is this where he chases down, he chases down Wonder Woman.
And then she's out. I guess she takes his car.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I thought I was so confused for a second there. I was like, then who is that character then? And then this is where you're first kind of introduced to Wonder Woman wearing her disguise, of course. And then what happens after that? So,
after she takes the drive, you know, like he runs into her later at a museum, and she's like, "Oh, I wasn't able to find these pictures on this," and she just gives it back to him. And so he goes back to the Batcave, you know, and he's trying to like find the pictures on it. But then remember, he falls asleep, and there's dream sequences in this movie. Bruce has these.
It's all over the place.
Like, I remember the first dream sequence where these bats are like levitating. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? I'm like, oh, it's a dream.
Shit, that was so weird at first, and
But then he wakes up. I'm like, oh, okay, they pulled him in my channel.
My friend Keith was with me, and he was seeing the movie, and we both looked at each other and we're like, what the fuck is going on? and then Batman says, "But that was just a dream," and we're like, "Okay, thank you."
Yeah, thank you.
Please, they're not floating. What are you doing, Zach? What are you doing? And then okay, so then what happens after that? So
after he wakes up from his dream, you know, they had this, because remember the people who, I mean, there's probably dumbasses watching this who are gonna watch this even though this is a spoiler for review, but you know,
you spoiled the movie.
Like, oh my god, you should have warned me 20 times.
Why'd you spoil the movie?
And so you know how in the trailers where it shows Batman out in the desert and he's fighting these soldiers and stuff, that's all a dream, you know. That's all a dream. Let's see, after he wakes out of the dream. And then he learns what Lex is doing with the kryptonite, you know, that he's experimenting it with stuff. And that they're making metahumans and crap.
Yeah. So then, after...
He wants to steal the kryptonite, remember?
Yeah.
Like, he gets in his bat car or whatever, the Batmobile.
Yeah, and he goes to steal this kryptonite because he now knows that this is what you need to use to fight Superman. Because Superman has threatened him, like, dude, man, you better watch out or we're gonna throw down eventually. And I think what happens is he goes to Lex's building where he has, like, it's like a factory or whatever. Yeah. It's like a shipment area where he has the kryptonite at, and he sneaks in and he steals it. And then after that, doesn't Superman come? Superman comes, and he's like, okay. Well, first you have to remember, while all of this is happening, Clark Kent doesn't like Superman. So Clark Kent is constantly saying, "Hey, Mr. Perry or whatever, maybe we should, like, I don't know, write articles about how bad Batman is." And like,
Yeah, because I was to
investigate all
say,
this."
Clark Kent is talking about how bad he himself is, but at the same time, he's telling us, like, no, man, he's a good guy. He only killed a couple thousand people.
He only killed a
Yeah,
couple.
for America, he killed 1,000 people. Yeah,
So Superman is there, if I'm correct. He shows up and is like, "Hey, you have to stop fighting crime because the bat is dead, and you need to bury it. And if you don't stop, I'm gonna kill you." And Batman does this beautiful monologue. It's kind of like in The Dark Knight Returns when they're on that ranch and they're riding horses, and Clark is like, because in the comic Clark is like, "Hey,
Reagan says stop it, so
he's like, "Hey, the president is like, you need to stop, or I'm gonna have to be hired to put you down." And Batman is like, "May the best man win." But in this, he's like,
Tell me,
"Hey, yeah."
do you bleed?
He's like, "Hey, the bat is dead. You need to bury it, and if you don't, I'm gonna have to put you down."
And Superman's about to fly off. He turns around, and Batman goes, "Tell me, do you bleed? You will." And I was like, ooh.
Fantastic performance by Ben Affleck.
You want to know the reason behind that voice? Ben Affleck was so self-conscious, he did not want to do the voice, so they just had that voice changer. I'm like, that was pretty smart.
Yeah, because Ben Affleck has a really strong Boston accent, if I'm correct.
Yeah. So after, Superman says, "You better stop this, sir, or I'm going to have to do something about it."
Yo, Frankie, man, you gotta tell me, man. Do you bleed, Batman? Do you bleed? I'm from Boston. Do you bleed, Batman?
Oh, yeah, and I remember after Superman flies off, Batman says the line, then it goes to where Superman shows up at Congress, but then, it blows up.
Yeah, because remember Lex rigged the wheelchair that he gave to that guy who doesn't like Superman, because the guy has to, like, push himself around, and at one point in time he goes to this Superman statue they have, and he, like, pushes himself off his chair, and he climbs to the top with this can of spray paint, and he writes "False God" on the chest of Superman where the logo is, and that looks really cool. And when Lex gives him the chair, but it's rigged with explosives, and then Superman is there at the Congress to hear for all the crimes that were committed when General Zod and all of his crony men came over and they destroyed Metropolis and all those people died. Everybody's on the fence on whether or not Superman's a good guy or not, so they have him in court, and it blows up, and you see Superman walking out, and Batman is there as well, and Batman's like, "Jesus, man, what's going on?" And then you find out that everybody is now thinking, was that Superman who did that?
I felt so bad for Superman when that... he's standing in the middle, they're unaffected, but he's like, I could have stopped this. I didn't... Yeah. I felt so bad when he said, "I didn't see it. I could have seen it."
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
You start to feel bad for him, which I think kind of redeems him from, like his mess up before. Because, he's a good guy. He's meaning... Yeah,
Superman is great. And so after, the Congress thing blows up, kind of wish that would happen in real life. Don't come after me, IRS. But, yeah. Oh, I remember, because Batman actually takes the kryptonite after the congressional hearing, because he goes like, "Yeah, this is the final straw. We got to take him down." And this is when he and Alfred, they make that awesome exoskeleton suit, and then he gets his riot gun and the spear. But
and he builds all these grenades and weapons that are centered around kryptonite.
Oh yeah, that training montage, Ben Affleck, that made me want to lift weights. I will tell you that.
Yeah, it was a good job. I think he did a good job with that. I think the whole film was over the place a lot, but I think it was a good movie. Yeah. And then
after Batman gets all his stuff made, this is when Luthor. This is where he goes to the ship that crashed, and then the aliens and stuff, and this is where...
because Zod's mothership comes in Man of Steel, and that's where, like, that's how they get to Earth to invade and everything. Well, that ship has now been closed off in this part of Metropolis because they don't really know what to do with it and they need to explore and stuff. But then Lex is like, hey, I need access to the ship, so here's a couple $1 million, let me see inside the ship. So then he goes in there and he takes Zod's body, and what does he do? He dips it in this, like, regeneration, like...
Yeah, and then he takes a knife, he cuts his hand, and he puts his own blood, and the computer tells him that transfusing with Kryptonians is forbidden by the council. Then he's like, what happened to the council? Oh, they died. Proceed with it. And then, so this is basically how Doomsday got made. I was wondering how they were going to do that. So I'm
Which
like,
I really like how they did that. I like how they were able to combine the Dark Knight Returns, kind of like the New 52 in a way, and also have Superman Doomsday all into one kind of film. I really like that in a way. And for it to be 2 hours and 30 minutes and people to say, oh, it's boring, it's meant to have that.
I actually saw the 3-hour R-rated edition. It was pretty good.
Did you really?
Yeah, there's a 3-hour R-rated edition. But, well, I think we could talk about that later. But, so basically after, they...
I have never seen that.
Yeah. So
does it add into it?
Yeah, it does. Like, well, I think I saw the 3-hour edition because I'm not one of those dickheads that goes in the theater with my phone and I check it and it illuminates the entire freaking theater. I turn my stuff off. I enjoy my movie.
Oh, what the hell! I'm so disappointed now. Are you sure? Do they have that?
Yeah.
Is that out already?
Yeah, I think it's the director. I don't know, but
I don't think they have that in theaters. Yeah, hold on.
I don't know. I probably did. I'm probably delusional because I went in there.
Here, I explain it. I'm gonna mute my mic to type this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so basically after, Luthor, he basically takes Zod and he's making Doomsday. This is what made me go, oh, this is why they fight. Basically, the reason why Superman finally says, fine, I'll go fight Batman, is because Luthor kidnaps his freaking mother. And then he says, if you don't go over there and take the head of the bat, I'm going to have your mother killed. And so Superman, instead of deciding to go over there and kill Batman, he actually goes, you know what? I'm going to reason with them, okay? And... of course, Batman doesn't want to hear any of that. Now we can talk about the part that we wanted to talk about, the fight.
The R-rated isn't out yet. It's not out yet. It's called the Ultimate Cut. The movie's just long in general. Yeah. You probably got it confused because the movie's it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes long. It's ridiculous.
So the fight. How was the fight?
It's a great fight. It's like straight out of the comic book fight. You see Batman win, you see Superman win, you see them just kind of hustle at it, and at one point in time, there's a scene where Superman grabs onto Batman's face and he rips off the mask and he presses it and he squeezes it with his hands and he breaks off this like face shell that Batman has, and it's just like the comic books, and it's really wicked. Yeah. Although I wish what they should have done. They should have done this where they fight in Crime Alley where Batman's parents were murdered, like in The Dark Knight Returns. But here they fight in this like rundown church.
Yeah, and for some, I have no freaking idea. How did Lois Lane know to show up? These guys are probably like 4 buildings away from the bat signal. How did she know to go in there?
Isn't what happens is
I mean, yeah, she gets a helicopter, but they're not near the bat signal anymore. They're inside. No.
Remember, Clark tells her. Clark is like, "Hey, they have my mom and whatever," and like.
Yeah, but he doesn't say, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna be 4 buildings over that way on Main Street."
Yeah, but by the way, guys,
just want you guys know
we're gonna be at the church. Don't worry, guys.
Is anybody on recording? Okay, enough. We're not making fun of people. We're not saying who we're making fun of, but.
Hey, are you guys recording? Okay,
on GX Story. We promised we were gonna do this, but the fight was great, straight out of the comics. I mean,
it was great. It was a fantastic fight.
But I forgot to mention this.
Beautifully.
Yeah, I forgot to mention this. We brought my sister's boyfriend. He knows Jack. He doesn't know anything about Superman at all. Yeah. But he kind of likes Batman. But the thing about Superman's mother, her name is Martha Kent, and Batman's mother is named Martha Wayne.
Yeah,
and whenever Batman's about to fucking kill Superman.
Yeah, because he's fighting him, and he feels that Superman is just toying with him this whole time. Like, he views Superman as this disrespectful, like, killer who just doesn't even care. And when he takes out the kryptonite and he starts to use it on Superman, and Superman's like near death, he looks at him and he has his foot over his neck,
and he just cut his throat with the spear.
Yeah,
and
then he's like saying like, "Hey man, I'm gonna kill you right now."
And Superman says,
he's like, "We have to save Martha." And
I want to say this part.
Yeah, fine.
Because this part was like so emotional. It's like, how do you know that name? How do you know that? And I look over
and stuff.
I looked over, my friend, he doesn't know anything about Superman. He says, I'm about to cry. I'm like, and we literally, we started hugging. I'm like, man, he doesn't know anything about it, and he has the feels.
Some real gay shit was going on.
Yeah, like, some real gay shit's going on in the back of the theater. One of the most heartfelt moments. Like,
this is a grown man sitting there hugging each other.
It was me. My sister was there too, so it wasn't gay.
It was like that when I saw Godzilla. There's a scene where Godzilla he when he's fighting the God, what are they called? When he's
Mutos?
fighting. When he's fighting the Mutos, he dies, and everybody's like, everybody in the theater is like grown men. They're all wearing Godzilla outfits, and well, they're not wearing Godzilla outfits. They're not dressed up like dinosaurs. They're wearing like shirts and stuff, and they all have like Godzilla attire on.
Yeah.
They're all dressed up in the outfits, and everybody's like looking around at each other, and everybody just starts crying, and I'm crying, and everybody's crying, and then you see Godzilla get up, and he does the fire blast, and we saw it in 3D, and it's the coolest thing ever.
The atomic.
And everybody stands up and they're crying and they're cheering, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And it was awesome. It was fantastic, actually. That's the only reason. If you ever watch that movie is trash in 3D. I paid good money to see that.
Jake, for reviewing Batman vs Superman.
Only 2 scenes are in 3D. All right.
Jake, for reviewing Batman vs Superman. Alright, so Batman's about to fucking kill him, but then, Superman hits him with the feels, the onion ninjas and shit, and then Lois Lane shows up like, no, don't kill him, he's my boyfriend and shit, and then, I don't know why, and so, in like 2 seconds ago, he's about to stab him in the fucking throat with a spear, and then he goes like, hey, I want to help you out,
I don't think he necessarily wants to help Superman. I don't think he still likes Superman, but I think now at this moment in time, he realizes Superman has family. Superman isn't just this weird alien. I think he realizes that Superman has a soul to his character, and he's like, well, I want to help out your mom because I wasn't able to help out my mom, and I don't want to see that happen ever again to somebody. So I think he goes by and he helps out Superman for this sole reason, and then eventually a friendship, hatred thing is built.
Yeah, friend of me. And so after that, then it goes to possibly my favorite scene in the entire movie. Batman rescuing Martha Kent. I actually like this scene
where he goes, I'm a friend of your son's.
It's like, I kind of got that, the cape. Yeah. But, dude, this was the moment that said, this guy is Batman. There's no going back to Christian Bale. This is Batman.
This is the Batman that I wanted for years.
This isn't Batman. This is the Batman.
When everybody was saying Ben Affleck's not a good choice for Batman, I was always on that field of I want him to be Batman because he is a Batman fan. In fact, he liked this movie, but he wrote his own scripts to these movies. Like, he wrote his own versions to these that weren't chosen, and what he would would do, he would put on the costume. I read this.
And they would play with the ears.
No. He would put on the costume. Like he'd go to do a shoot. He'd full body put on the bat suit, and he'd rewrite the script with what he'd think, and he'd run it by Zach, and he'd be like, "So, you think you could maybe change this about?" And him and Zach would just hated each other because they couldn't agree with anything.
It's like I'm the director. I say it should be that. Why should we go do this? Because I'm Batman.
I'm the Batman. And then at one point, well, not at one point. Why did I say that? Ben Affleck is actually, I believe this is true. He's mentioned that he's working on his own standalone Batman movie, and that's gonna be fantastic because Ben Affleck knows what he's doing. I think he's written comic books before. And he's friends with Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith is a god when it comes to superheroes and knowledge about superheroes and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, so what happens next?
Okay, so, well, I really didn't get to describe the freaking ass whooping Batman gave to these guys. Batman,
is this where he's fighting and he throws the guy into the box?
This is,
it's fantastic.
When I saw this scene, I'd be like, okay, if this man is doing this to people, why is there still crime in Gotham? I would not even want to jaywalk in Gotham. No, he's not stunning these guys. No, he's breaking people's fucking bones. He's stabbing people. He's shooting people. He's probably breaking necks and shit.
Imagine that though. You're like walking across the street. You jaywalk and he comes out of nowhere.
He slams your head in the fucking hood of a car like you did that guy in the. So Batman whoops some ass, and I kind of like the action in that scene better than the fight, you know, because I was like, I wanted to see Batman in action, you know. I wanted to see it. I had to see what he was like against regular goons, you know. Yeah. But so that was freaking great. They rescue his mother. It was awesome. And then after that, let's see. You might not have heard him. A little guy called Doomsday freaking shows up.
Well, this is after they get to Lex, and Lex is like, "Hey, you remember General Zod? Well, I got into his ship, and also, you know my blood. Fun fact, this is actually infused with General Zod's blood, and now he's a god of a Kryptonian. And oh yeah, by the way, he's right behind you." And and that's all introduced, and they fight. They have to fight Doomsday, and at this point, isn't Lex? Isn't he now being arrested? What happens to him?
No, because I got the whole thing pulled up on here. Like, okay. So basically, this is. Whenever, you know, Doomsday shows up, it hit me. Oh, I know why they cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Why? Because no one would be this batshit fucking insane to create this monster.
Yeah, that's what I really like about it, is that, like, when people say that Eisenberg did a bad job, I like the rendition of Lex Luthor.
Yeah. So, Doomsday shows up. Before we talk about the fight, what'd you think of Doomsday?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought he was. The face.
I
got used to that face.
It reminded. The CG was really nice. I think they did a really good job with that. I think it kind of reminded me of who was the guy off of the Hulk series? What's his name? Yeah, Abomination. He reminds me of Abomination in a way, but not really. Yeah. And I think it was a really good job because the CG is good on it, so you can kind of believe that, you know, that they're actually fighting this person, and it just puts you all into it. And because Wonder Woman comes back, and this is where
this is when Wonder Woman officially shows up. Because we can't, because the way we're doing this, we're just like puzzling this together, kind of like Pulp Fiction. Like, we're talking about this, but then we have to go back and talk about this. Let's start about, you know, Superman and Doomsday. They start throwing hands, you know. Then you realize, oh shit, this thing's actually a match for him. But then it cuts to the military. We're like, you know, we gotta nuke this thing. What about Superman? Hang on, he's bringing him up in the atmosphere. So they shoot a nuke up there, and if you know anything about Superman, like, there were probably some dumbasses in the audience going, "Oh my god, they killed Superman!" I'm like, no, they didn't, you dumb
'cause,
fucking
if you
dipshit.
don't know, Superman gets
His power from the
whenever
sun.
he gets his power from the sun and through the earth and stuff, and it powers him up. So yeah.
That actually reminds me of the scene where he gets hit by the nuke in Dark Knight Returns, and he
Yeah,
absorbs
that's
the
what I
and he
was
absorbs
thinking
the
as well.
he absorbs the energy from the flowers, and I thought to myself, God, what a fucking hippie. And so yeah, they nuke Doomsday and Superman. They think they killed Superman because, you know, it was just like Dark Knight Returns. Like, his skin was all fucked up, he was all skinny and shit.
It
But
was really cool how they
Doomsday lands on an island, and what you don't know about Doomsday, you try killing him, he becomes immune to be killing that way, and so he kind of mutates a bit, and he gets horns, you know, like Doomsday did in the comics. And I thought that...
And then they find out that the only way to kill Doomsday is with Kryptonian weapons, and this is where
Lois Lane fucked up because she decided, like,
Yeah.
I know Superman's gone in this spear can't hurt him, but I'm gonna throw it in the water anyways.
Because when they were fighting beforehand, Batman was when earlier when he was building all this like Kryptonian weapons, he built this giant sphere, and the front part of it is made out of solid kryptonite.
And so, look, you know, after he fights Superman, you know, and then he just throws it to the side, and Lois Lane decides, I think it'll be a good idea to dispose of this, even though it could come in handy in the later. And so she throws it in this random ass fountain. So when they're fighting Superman and stuff, not Superman, but they're
Doomsday.
Yeah, they're fighting Doomsday and stuff. So basically, Lois is like, oh, I could help. Wait, but it's a problem I created. No, it still help. So she goes in there, she dives into this thing, you know, to get the spear, but out of coincidence, you know, some debris blocks the thing, and, you know, in the middle of a fight, Superman somehow hears her, and he goes and saves her. But, you know, Doomsday's still out there, he's whooping everybody's asses, Batman's almost running out of kryptonite, Wonder Woman's not being able to hold it anymore. So Superman decides, you know, I know you could go down there and get it. It's not that deep, probably, you know, 9 feet, but I'm gonna go and get it instead. And
yeah, because he doesn't want her to die, because she's trapped underwater in the first place.
They had to recreate that scene from Man of Steel to where it showed that Superman is able... They have to show the humanity of Superman. Like, he's gonna have to break his limits and stuff. So Superman takes the kryptonite spear, and woo, he just flies at Doomsday. You know, he stabs him.
But take in mind, he's being hurt by the kryptonite, so he's getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and he has to use all of his strength to fight, and it just looks so rad.
Yeah, and he just flies straight into Doomsday, and he fucking stabs him with this spear.
But take in mind,
they
Doomsday
also cut off Doomsday's right hand.
Yeah.
And since he mutates, you know, he, I guess, bones or something. Like,
yeah, it's like a sharp knife or whatever.
It grows out in place.
It takes place into Doomsday's hand, and then when Superman rushes at him and he stabs him into the chest with the kryptonite, it also stabs Superman in like the stomach heart area.
Yeah.
That general area.
So yeah, they both stab each other, but, you know, Superman, he gives that final push, and they finish Doomsday off, but
and they kill Doomsday, but Superman dies in the process.
Yeah, Superman dies in this movie.
And then it's super depressing.
Yeah.
And then because now Batman and Wonder Woman are like, oh no, you know, he wasn't as bad as I thought he was, and now he just kind of gave up his life to save the humanity and to save us and to save a Metropolis and Gotham and everything, and he's not as bad as we thought he is. And then it cuts to the funeral, and there's 2 funerals held. There's a funeral for Metropolis. Yeah, well, there's the one for Clark, and then there's the one for Superman. And Clark's body is actually Superman's body is with his family, and inside the casket is like a fake body for the one for Metropolis and everybody who is sad about Superman's death. So then they do the funeral for both, and people are really sad that Superman's dead, and everybody's really sad that Kent is dead, and Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne, Wonder Woman, everybody, they're like hovering over the grave, and Lois is there, and she takes the dirt and she puts the dirt in her hand and she throws it onto onto the casket. And she's really sad, and then they all walk away. And take in mind, he is regenerating from the sun and from the ground and everything around him. So he's not actually dead, right? He's dead, but he's coming back, is what they're getting at. And when he's walking away, you can hear heartbeats as Bruce is over the body. And as he's walking away, it shows like the casket, and you hear a heartbeat and stuff. And then it cuts to black, and that's the end.
Yeah, and before this part happens, so Batman and Wonder Woman, they attend Clark's funeral, and Bruce tells her, he's like, hey, you know, I was looking through the files, and we got to get these people together. And she goes, why? And it's just a feeling, you know. I'm like, how much more obvious are we saying? We're making a Justice League, people.
Watch out, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's going to be so wicked, man.
Yeah, so that was our synopsis of the movies. We kind of gave our sort of reviews. I mean, like, it was hard. We don't know. This is our first time reviewing something. We got to get used to doing this.
I think it'll get better, you know. I think if you get me on one more time, I think
yeah. We got to do Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that one should be next. I think it's good for just a podcast, but we're all over the place.
Yeah.
But I think that was a good first.
Check out my SoundCloud for the full podcast.
This is a good first start point.
Start up with a bang, as they say.
Yes,
Batarang bang. But okay. I'm gonna shut up now. So
New Gotham. So this was Binge Watchers episode 1.
Yeah. Before we end this, is there anything you want to say, like, review-wise, without going into too much detail? Like, any quick little shots you want to take of the movie? Anything you want to say that we didn't address in the review?
I only have one final thing to say. Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
So this is basically what we got. The movie was great, had great action. Go into this movie. Don't go into this movie expecting some Academy Award-winning Christopher Nolan shit. No, this is a popcorn flick. If you want to see Batman, Superman tussle, this is a movie to watch. Okay, this is a superhero movie.
Also, fun fact: Christopher Nolan is actually, if any of this is correct, actually we could go on to reviews of the movie, but probably not. It doesn't really matter. We can just wrap it up here. He is the what was I gonna say? He did something with this film. He was
producer.
Yeah, he was the producer guy. Yeah, he was an executive producer with Jeff Johns and Emma Thomas and all those people. And yeah.
So, Batman vs Superman is a great movie. I don't know how I'm gonna rate stuff. Tell you what, I'm gonna rate this on like a letter scale because 1 to 10 is bullshit.
Yeah.
So I would say. I'm going to review this as a fan of comic book movies.
Yeah.
Not as some dumbass Rotten Tomatoes critic, because, you know, Rotten Tomatoes...
Yeah, all those reviews, don't read any of them. One of the official Rotten Tomato reviewer people... Yeah, you can get verified on the website. It's pretty stupid. It has a 29 currently right now, even though no movie deserves a 29 except for a couple of ones out there. We're not going to mention those because they're shit. Yeah. They don't even deserve to be breathed on. Like, one of the reviews from, like, an official critic is like, oh, I fell asleep during this movie because it's too long, and then they give it a 30.
There wasn't enough bat nipples.
When does Michael Keaton show up? Isn't he Batman? Where's Michael Keaton?
Where's Poison? Okay, let's not. Okay.
Where's Bane?
All right, so
what happens to Bane?
Yeah. Where's Robin? So on a rating scale, I'd say Batman vs Superman, the 2-hour, 30-minute non-special edition, gets a B+. What do you think it gets?
I'm gonna give it a B+. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B+, simply for the fact I'm a fan of comic books. I'm a fan of Batman. He's one of my favorite superheroes. I have over 500 Batman comic books. I'm really into Batman. He's my favorite superhero. Everything about Batman excites me. I've cried multiple times thinking of Batman.
Everything about Batman excites me. It's like Batman. He shows up. Oh, I'm getting Batman.
I'm getting that bad erection.
Them bat nipples. Where's the bat nipples?
My bat nipples are. But I'm a major Batman fan, and a B+ is what I'd give this. Don't go into this like Evan was saying. Don't go into this looking for this Academy Award, Leonardo DiCaprio, Revenant performance. Go into this looking for this is kick-ass superhero fun with favorite superheroes, with awesome action and really cool stuff. And don't go into this looking for Fantastic Four, that new movie, that pile of shit. You all remember that movie.
Four shit, you fucking faggots. I hope you fucking die, Fox, you piece of shit.
Anyway, this was Binge Watchers, episode 1 with...
If we're even going to call these episodes, so this was the Binge Watchers.
I'd say it's episode 1.
It's a good way to start it off, so you just... You know what? We're not good at intros, so I'm just gonna say this. HG Jake, go check out his channel. He's one of the funniest guys I know. If you like gaming videos, if you just like short films in general, he's a funny, good internet personality. And if you want to see some shitty, retarded content that'll probably make you hate yourself as a human being, check out my channel. Subscribe. You know, this has been the Binge Watchers. We will see you in the next review.